A beautiful morning. It is on the bumper breakfast. We're glad to be back here with you this great morning. It's a Thursday morning, the 26th of May 2022. How are you all doing? Did you wake up well on the right side of your minds? Of course, did you get, prepared mentally? Motivate yourself to get ready for the day and the rest of the week. Are you getting ready for the Children's Day tomorrow? I'm a child. You're a child. We all are somebody's children. And interestingly, we all are Nigeria's children. We are. She's our mother. And we must take care of her. So yes, every single Nigerian tomorrow gets to celebrate the Children's Day. And while we're at it, celebrating the Children's Day, I'd be wondering, where would the cake come from? So yes, I'm receiving cake. As we speak right now, I'm receiving cake. I'm waiting for people who are going to send me Children's Day cake, Children's Day cookies, Children's Day zobo, Children's Day yogurt, Children's Day drink on the bumper breakfast. Just deliver at the front desk, and I'll definitely get it. My name is Oluwatobisi. Good to be here with you this great morning. And yesterday was quite interesting. We were talking about bestiality and, of course, the boy child. Today, we will be taking a look at 5 newspapers. I get to introduce our guests. And, of course, the conversation, it's the ground running. I begin with the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Lamido's son, PDP governorship primaries. Lamido's son, Uba Bade Jajari others pick tickets as Bauchi governor appears on ballot despite presidential bid. I was having a conversation with a colleague this morning and I said, they buy 2 forms. They can afford it, They buy presidential, they buy other ones, okay? So they get to retain their seat despite the fact that they're pushing for something else. All right, you have a Fintiri Makinde secure return ticket exercise postponed in Niger and Imo Ekweremadu, Abaribe. Gaso Maku pull out. All right, Stella Odua absconded, didn't complete youth service. That's coming from the AYC. Supporters launch crowdfunding portal for Shibajo's presidential bid. Supporters launch crowdfunding portal. Tears as a woman, 4 kids killed by airport buried in Anambra. Inducing delegates pushing Nigeria towards plutocracy in a chair. Unfortunately, that's how we vote. That's how we conduct our politics. But of course, our guest will tell us more about that. I have Abuja Kaduna train attack. Banner headline, Guardian newspaper, Abuja Kaduna train attack victims' families ask government to heed terrorist ultimatum. Right, you have Killing's presidency urges restraint over viral violence videos. Zulum confirms 35 killed, 6 injured in Borno attack. Deborah Samuel, pastor donates estate car to family in Rivers. And you have 2023 OB quits PDP eyes Labour NNPP tickets. PDP Northern Elders look to North Central for candidates. Insist consensus is pathway to stability. Legal move to stop PDP presidential primaries fail. You have APC chair hint on consensus speak for party's presidential flag bearer. Okay, I rest my case. PDP Guba primary, you have Makinde Fintiri gets second term tickets, as you also get Ondo APC aspirants rejecting position of Ibrahim. Those are stories on the front page of The Guardian newspaper this morning. All right, still taking a look at some more stories. Nation newspaper is where I go next, and the banner headline has outgoing governors pick pick PDP tickets in states. All right. I also have Okowa's choice beats Boris anointed in Delta State. We also have Makinde triumphs in Oyo. Ikweremadu Abaribe Luke Maku quit before shadow election. Wike speak. Fubara wins presidential aspirant Bala. You have presidential aspirant Bala Muhammad's name on the ballot. Right here you have Obi's exit deems hope for Southeast PDP candidates. Oh my. Korean firms get nod to build world-class LPG vessel. Soludo imposes curfew. APC's 28 presidential aspirant undergoing screening, says Adamu. All right, we have the winners in Lagos. Olajide Adeniro won. That's Jando, Adamo Amadu Fintiri, Oyo Seyi Makinde, Ibrahim Kashim Bauchi, Nasarawa David Umbugado. You have Abia Uche Ikono, Rivers Simini Alayi Fubara. You have Peter Mba, Enugu Benue Ostino Uba. You have Akwa Umo Eno, Sulilamido Jigawa, Sheriff Obovere, Delta, Taraba, Agbu Kefas, Saidu Umar, Secretary, Yobe, Sheriff Aldo, and Bernu, Mohammed Jajari. Okay. It's getting quite interesting. PDP. Now we have the Punch newspaper. Shock as Peter Obi dumps PDP. Protester mud governors primaries. Obi Kwankwaso Talk Coalition Niger primary shifts. Youths stone Ishaku's convoy. Gunshots at Adebutu Lawa supporters clash to stop to PDP primaries. Buhari's men wooing Jonathan to join APC. Presidential bid, Emefiele's withdrawal on Buhari's order, says source. Stella Odua absconded, didn't complete national service. NYSC. Rescue train passengers before terrorists kill them. Families beg Buhari. Granted First Nations multi-million-dollar plane sold as scrap, towed to Oyo. Ritualists exhume newly buried corpse, harvest organs in Oyo. We took oath over OAU students' death. Hotel receptionist. Page 8 of the Punch newspaper tells us more. Of course, I still have the Nigerian Tribune carries the same set of stories. I'd like to begin with non-politics this morning, and let me introduce our guest, Mr. Aki Fatunke. He's right here with me this morning, joining us on the Bumper Breakfast, elder statesman and public affairs analyst. Good morning, sir. Good to have you.
Good morning, Tobinsi. Good morning, Nigerians and friends of Nigeria. We still have a lot of faith and a lot of hope
in the country.
In our country. It's nice to be here.
Nigeria is mourning. Yesterday, sadly, a pregnant woman with 4 of her kids, were killed on the streets of Anambra. She was on her way home on a motorcycle with these children, and she was killed, brutally murdered. The question is, what exactly would warrant such? What explanation can be given for such barbarism?
It's unexplainable, and of course, speaking from my corner here, most unfortunate. It's drawn a scorecard that has gone from red to crimson. I'm not sure if there is a demarcation between a red and a crimson in a scorecard. It's an indicator of how far Nigeria nationhood has sunk, how far we have lost our humanity, our ability to govern selves. I am given to understand that in the zoo, in the wild of the wilds, even the primates have some order. In our situation, I have not seen order, I have not seen structure, nor have I seen governance. Most unfortunate, most uncalled for, and the bloodletting that has marked the east sector or the eastern region of Nigeria is anything but most disturbing. People have actually said that it has political undertones, call them gunmen that are known or unknown, as the case might be. That continues to be very ungovernable. We thought that with Soludo coming on and in such a freely contested and won elections, one now begins to wonder, so what exactly are we looking at? Sociology now tells us that don't let us continue to look at the effects. These are effects that you see on a regular daily basis. We need to go back to the root cause, which is the root cause of the federation that is on a tripod, that is anything but unity, anything but faith. Unfortunately, we do not have on the steering wheel the kind of leaders from that region and from the federal that will be able to steer us, aright or navigate us back into common sense. In other words, Nigeria, by the death of that woman, killed the way she was killed,
brutally murdered.
I know people, but there's been a lot of bloodletting, and for that to happen, and for Nigeria to continue to pretend as if all is well. Of course, well, we had that with the Chibok girls, we had that with the Dapchi girls, we had that with the Buni Yadi massacres. Nigeria is now a minefield of bloodletting. So where we are at now is the fact that we cannot govern ourselves with the present structure that we have. We need to go back and sit around the table, look for perhaps a new constitution, a new restructuring. And after the Muhammadu Buhari administration finishes what is left with Nigeria, perhaps we'll be able to now get a proper direction. I have never seen a ruler on the throne of governance of Nigeria that has taken himself, his presidency, and the rest of us in the backward acceleration as we have. Tomisi, you heard about Amoeba.
Yeah.
Amoeba, yes, it's alive, but has no form.
Has no
Nigeria,
shape.
no form, no shape, no direction, and maybe that is the wish and the strategy of those.
But Mr. Fatunke,
of those,
this all
people.
comes back to the conversation about the sit-at-home order that we've always talked about in the Southeast. When this issue came about and people began to complain, seriously, about governance in those areas, examination was practically cancelled, missed in those areas because of the same sit-at-home order. Then you ended up having more people, decide not to go about their businesses because of the same sit-at-home order. It used to be on Mondays. Now it's some other day. Now exams are written on Saturday. This is a breakdown of law and order. And I would have thought that with the way they celebrated the emergence of Charles Soludo, that the Anambra, metropolis will be very much better. I thought, somewhat, they got their man. And at this point, things were going to be better.
Breakdown of law, breakdown of order, enthronement of chaos, total incompetence on the part of all that are involved here. And still gets back to my salient point.
But Mr. Fasuka, before you get to that salient point, why have we not named this unknown gunman whom the papers carried this morning as IPOB, who have continued to create this kind of weeping, gnashing of teeth in the Southeast? Why has IPOB as an organization itself not address this issue, come out to say, oh, this is not us, or come out to say, oh, yes, this is us? Let's understand the modus operandi. Yeah. Why are you killing your people to actually achieve what? Last week, it was a lawmaker that was killed. And people would have said, oh, they're going after the political class. The other day, it was Professor Akunyili's husband, another Dr. Akunyili, that was killed. Yes. What explanation do we have for that?
We cannot have any explanation except that, was it Shakespeare that said there is no art by which you can see the mind's construction on the face? The heinous happenings in the Southeast is an indicator that those behind know who they are. I'll personally be surprised that those at the center raises their hands and says they don't know who they are. If there's a political will to stop it, it's another thing entirely. Might be this as part of the jigsaw puzzle of what goes on behind the curtain and behind the scene to make Nigeria ungovernable, and those who are supposed to be looking after Nigeria are just not perhaps interested. Ordinarily, I would just said not competent enough. But when I try to draw a parallel, that when you call them unknown gunmen, and like you said, they've not been named
by anybody.
We also know the terrorists that have been attacking us refuse to be named here on our soil, named outside the country, given to us carte blanche to go do what we need to do, and people are looking the other side. So my point is that, yes, it's most unfortunate. Yes, I agree with you absolutely that if you have a grouse against a system or against a person, go out there, go to Abuja and go and vent. This is not what you should be doing. And killing
your fellow human beings
and killing your people. And if you now choose that is you want to take on your own, there are structures, there are things that can be done. Even Nigeria, as backward as we were at a particular point in time, we had leaders who may not like them. Before Buhari came on, a lot of what I think we are seeing now, we will not have seen them. So it goes back to, like Chinua Achebe said, squarely, solely on the head of lack of leadership, lack of capacity to make consensus, lack of capacity to be able to communicate, lack of capacity to listen. Say, I've heard you. Yes, there are certain things we are going to do about it.
Mr. Fasuka, let me ask you, are you saying that this killing is a form of communication? How do you say someone is speaking to you when you don't even have the face of the person that is speaking to you? Some people are kidnapping. bombing and kidnapping. Some people are walking on the streets, burning people in their houses, attacking them in their houses, killing people on the road. I do not see the difference between a terrorist in the north and a terrorist in the south. What we're talking about is terrorism, whatever shade, color, or shape it's taken.
Terrorism is a form of communication. It may be negative communication. You are not going to hear me, and so I am going to either do a kamikaze, self-destruct, or I destroy you. For you to now know that there should be balance of terror, are you saying to me that communication is simply verbal? It could be non-verbal, but those who are communicating to understand. The Southeast has understood where power lies. The Southeast has understood who they are listening to. The Southeast, okay, in the majority, I'm talking of people there, not everybody. Now say, wait a minute. Let me look back and see if I can get some protection from the state. And it's not coming. Protection for federal is not coming. So what then do you do? And these people keeps on killing and killing. The last one that I saw that involved the INEC official, it was on radio. It said, we've told you people, don't come out, don't come and do anything and stuff like that. People are helpless. In this same country, where we had elements of this coming out, we had rulers who are better than the kind of people that we have in here, and they were able to stem it in the tide. I see a situation where it is a communication to be going to the heart of the matter, which I wanted to allude to, that the Nigerian structure is hinged on unfairness and on a template that is not going to work. It's so unfair. People talk about marginalization. I wonder who is marginalizing who. We know those who are marginalizing the rest of us, and then pulling the wool over our eyes.
And turning us against each other.
I go back and say something. I have not seen anywhere in my studies of geopolitics and things to do with agitations, a situation where you begin to kill
yourself.
It's like a pregnant woman.
To make a point.
A pregnant woman says, yes, my photos, everything is going on fine, but you know what? I'm going to draw a dagger and shoot myself.
Just to make a point.
We go back. It's just a singular communication to restructure Nigeria and reprogram Nigeria on unity, faith, and rule of law. That will get us back in here. I think the average, not just in the Southeast, in virtually up north, are of the conviction that we may be talking to the blind, to the deaf, and the dumb for all they care. And the only thing they will understand is exactly what they seem to be doing, which I disagree with, or ground Nigeria, make Nigeria ungovernable.
And that is what baffles me. It really baffles me, because I see a situation where you are attacking your own, you're attacking your family, you're killing your brothers and sisters, you're depleting the numbers of your population, your side. Now, you are killing commerce in your area. Okay, you are stopping people from making a living for themselves in your territory. People feel so disgruntled they can no longer go out freely. Parents are scared of sending their children to school. What exactly are you trying to achieve? Because then your kids will not be educated, then your commerce will die, then your environment will degrade, then there will be, at the end of the day, there will be a revolt in your own community. So What exactly are you trying? The only explanation for this is somebody infiltrated somewhere and these people are creating chaos in the name of, I don't get it.
Let's be clear. Again, we come back to communication.
We're killing Northerners who want to get married, who passed by.
IPOB has come out clearly to say they are not the ones involved. Whether you want to believe that or not believe that is another subject entirely.
I thought they had ESN as a part of them.
Well, the ESN too have said, well, this is not us. And that is why we are now...
So why are the two organizations that are being fingered as the culprits not coming out to say, let's fish out those people?
We are now left with so-called unknown government. These unknown government go out and go back to some hamlets. And some people harbor them. Nobody is profiling a kind of lead or link. Because according to some of the intelligence information that I am aware of, that they know who is doing what. And is the hand of Esau and the voice of Jacob in that scenario. Now I go back. When the head is rotting, the nail on the foot will feel the ache. We have a situation where, like I said, there is no structure, there is no governance, and the semblance of governance that I see is just not working. Now, I want to also tie this to the fact that in the Southeast, as we speak today, what we see is a situation where, oh yes, it's our turn to produce the president. But the way to going through that, after looking to and fro, foresee a situation that will not be able to get there because of some unfair structure that I have, and I'll be the first to admit it. Unfair structure where commerce, education, industry is second to none in the sub-Saharan Africa. I'm talking about the Igbo economy. And then, of course, some other economies are being destroyed, being degraded, Boko Haram. So we need to have a balance of terror. So as much as you can, you may wish to look the other side while people aid out there self-destruct, which is a most unfortunate, which is a most immoral thing for any leader, well, we'll call them rulers, for any leader or ruler to sit upon.
And brings me to the issue of what the leader is sitting upon right now. I feel for Professor Charles Soludo. I really do feel for him because he just assumed office many months ago, and then he's already dealing with this much. Just yesterday, 14 children were confirmed killed in Anambra by missiles. Now, this is medical, by missiles. And while we are still dealing with that, about 414 cases are also being dealt with. The local government areas affected by this include Anambra East, Anambra West, Ayamelum, Ihiala, Idemili North, Nnewi North, Onitsha North, Njikoka, and Oyi. Now, still moving down to Anambra State again, due to the killing of this pregnant woman and other people that died, the governor has imposed a curfew, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew. They did say on 8 councils, Agwatu, Iyala, Ekusigo, Nnewi North, Nnewi South, Ogbaru, Orumba North, Orumba South. Tricycles, motorcycles, shuttle buses will not operate in these councils at that time. On Monday, sit at home until further notice. This will begin tomorrow, Friday, 26th of
Well, my prayers, my thoughts go to Professor Charles Soludo, and I think he's hinting on the right vibes. I also recognize the fact that among other approachments that he has made was to pay a visit to Nnamdi Kanu.
Yeah.
Okay. You see, when you sit for too long on the dung of what I will call shit, a lot of lies will come in. I implore the Igbo intelligentsia again, I implore the local government, I implore the traditional rulers to come around. Please, let's speak with one voice. Let's be highly determined to go for the broke. We had a maximum leader, because that is what the Nigerian president, in terms of the kind of power and influence that he had. We had a maximum leader who was not in power, but who saw what was happening in the Boko Haram enclave and shunned all appurtenances of safety. Went there, I'm talking about Obasanjo.
Yeah.
He went there, and people said, hey, wait a minute. If you go there, you might be killed. I said, "Oh." He went there, tried to speak sense into a seemingly senseless people. Not long after he left and was going to get a rapprochement, other people were killed. I do not see the present leadership of Nigeria who are angling and angling and
Don't worry.
looking forward to 2023.
No, your vice president went there.
Doing what needs to be done. If your vice president has gone in there, and we are still having...
He went to Boko Haram. He also went to...
And we are still having what...
He's been the one going on.
And we are having...
What we are having?
We have a captain of the plane.
Okay.
We have co-pilots.
Okay.
What is the captain of the plane doing? I think we heard that he was about going somewhere in the north, and then because of weather, he changed his mind.
And he was going to Zamfara.
And then the next that we heard is that
he's no longer going there.
He's gone to the UK. The wife is in Dubai. My point is that
his wife is around. Mr. Fatuke.
The wife was in Dubai.
Our first lady is very much in the country as we speak.
Well,
she received the Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed, Ethiopia Prime Minister, yesterday. His wife.
As far as I'm concerned, receiving the Ethiopian or the Ghanaian Prime Minister or not Prime Minister is not...
You said them to a dinner, mind you.
It's not looking at the problems of Nigeria. You know, power corrupts.
Absolute power corrupts, absolutely.
I think the truth must be told. We are not, both us and they especially, we are not being governed, and we are losing all the structure. Amoeba has set in, and the next thing on the mind of people now is, are these people, when I say these people, I'm talking of the politicians, are we actually looking forward to an election in 2023?
Yes, we are.
It's a great question mark. I am not seeing in the horizon, the coloration of a people set out to want to either seat power in a way it should be seated, do elections the way it should be done, and in return, what we see on our voters' card is killing, and Nigeria being turned into a minefield.
Nigeria needs healing.
May the Lord God Almighty borrow us sense, as we always say.
Borrow us sense, we need it.
Awaken those who are with us, who have said to us that between Rehoboam and Jehovah, whether you are whipped with scorpions over than whips, they do not kind of care. I still have the faith and believe that the only way to go is not only to dialogue, to get into a consensus around the table, restructure Nigeria, speak to Nigerians, and ask ourselves these questions. The template that we've been riding on all this while, that we are seeing in front of us, and that we are still putting forward to 2023, will get us nowhere. That reality must be agreed to by our politicians, who today are being led by President Muhammadu Buhari.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Fatuke, for being here with us. I know you have to be somewhere, and I've taken so much of your time already. Many thanks for having you join us today. It is still the bumper breakfast. I'll take a quick commercial break. When I come back, we're talking about humanity.